I know you all are thinking about the next step, getting into a university, whether that's in Japan or internationally. But have you thought about how you can stand out from your peers? Hi, my name is Kenan Sato-Hua. I'm a rising sophomore at the Green School, a high school located in South Florida in the United States. I'm also a member of the Wolfpack CubeSat development team, an aerospace team that teaches students how to design, build, test, and fly satellites in space. But before I tell you all about that, I'd first like to show you some hobbies that I have and a little bit about my heritage. In my free time, I like to play basketball and go fishing. As I live in South Florida, there is an abundance of water and many fishing spots to choose from. I also like to study stocks and funds and invest in them. Now, a little bit about my heritage. My mom was born in Japan and lived there until she was 16. She then moved to Orlando, Florida in the US to pursue a high school education. She then went to Boston University to pursue a college and graduate level degree. My father was born in Taiwan and lived there until he was 25. He then moved to the US to pursue a college and graduate level degree at New York University. Both my parents took on the challenge of moving from their separate countries to the US to pursue this US education. And due to this, I'm the result of the US education system. Going to school in the US is very different from going to school in Japan, not just in the academic sense, but in many other ways too. Japanese education is often viewed as high stakes and high pressure. It's very test-based and score-mediated. For example, the better test score you get, the better high school you could get into. And while test scores are still a great measure of success, building your story during your high school career is very important, especially if you know what field you hope to pursue, as this will show colleges the impact you can make on their program, and it gives them a reason to accept you to their institution. For example, my passion is finance. So I take classes like calculus, and I tutor students in math, and I also even wrote a paper on the educational benefits of pocket cubes, which I presented at 2 international conferences. Due to the importance of building a story during your high school career, many high schools in the US offer students pre-college programs, such as pre-med for future workers in the medical industry, pre-law for future lawyers, and pre-business for future entrepreneurs. In the US, it's very culturally and language diverse. For example, in South Florida, where I live, it is very common for people to speak English and Spanish. But due to my heritage, I not only speak Japanese and Chinese, but I can also speak Spanish and English fluently. Student-teacher relationships are also very different between Japanese and American schools. In Japan, student-teacher relationships are more disciplined, while student-teacher relationships in America are more laid back and student-focused. For example, I had to take an end-of-year calculus test, so my math teacher dedicated 3 hours of every Sunday to help me prepare for this math test. Teachers can give very good advice to students that are willing to listen and can be very good sounding boards if students need help. In America and Japan, we have public and private high schools. In public high schools, the curriculum has to adhere to state standard, while at private high schools, the curriculum is much more flexible. At public schools in America, they usually host more students, with on average them hosting around 1,716 students, while in private high schools in the US, they only host on average 176 students. Due to the tuition that students pay to attend private high schools, they tend to have more resources. For example, at the school I attend, the Green School, students from the 5th to 11th grade are offered laptops. We also have many innovative tools like 3D printers and welding machines. There is a large difference between small private high schools and large private high schools. At smaller private high schools, there are much less students and a very small student-to-teacher ratio. At the school I go to, the Green School, we only have 22 students in our high school. And our student-to-teacher ratio is a 4-to-1. This allows teachers to individually focus on each student, helping them find their passion and take classes that would benefit their career. At larger private high schools like American Heritage, a high school in my district, they have a very large amount of students, with 990 as of last year and a 6-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio. Due to this, it's very hard for teachers to individually focus on each student and help them find their passion. So, like I talked about earlier, this school offers many pre-college courses, such as pre-business, pre-law, or pre-med. At larger private high schools, they also tend to have more extracurricular activities and clubs, which can help students show colleges their interests in their future career. However, at larger private high schools, the competition is very intense on which student can be the best and the most successful. However, at smaller private high schools, the curriculum is very flexible, and students are able to choose classes that would benefit their future career. For example, as I hope to pursue a career in STEM, next year I will be taking classes like statistics, physics, and macroeconomics. If you attend any high school in the US, you will have the ability to take elective classes. Elective classes are classes that don't have anything to do with core classes, but still show colleges that you are taking initiative on the career you'd like to have in the future. For example, I'm taking speech and debate. This will help me improve my overall communication and presentation skills, and will help me when I have to present at a conference. It will also help me lead team meetings or talk to clients in the future if I am at a finance company. Overall, elective classes are offered to students to help them show their interests at a very early age while taking classes in high school. When you're thinking about building your story and applying to colleges, you shouldn't only think about the classes you take in school, but also what you do in your free time. A great way to spend your free time is by doing things that will help you gain experience in your future career. As my passion is finance, I try to do things that will help me gain experience in STEM. Some things I do are, I'm a math tutor at a math tutoring center, and this will show colleges my ability to teach high-level math at a very young age. Another great way to gain experience in your free time is by interning at many companies. For example, I plan to intern at a finance company. This will help me understand the field even before I start entering the field. Next year, I also plan to create a nonprofit company that will offer students free math tutoring. This will show colleges my ability to manage finances, and it will show my impact on the community. Moreover, it will help students that can't afford math tutoring to be able to receive it from my center. However, I know that I must apply my interests and skills in math to a specific industry, and that's where my work with the Wolfpack CubeSat development team comes in hand. I was introduced to the Wolfpack through my former science teacher, Kevin Simmons. Since then, he has mentored me through the process of researching a picosatellite called the Pocket Cube, which I presented at 2 international conferences, one at the 10th Annual Pocket Cube Conference in Glasgow, Scotland, and one at the Committee for Space Research, COSPAR, in Busan, South Korea, on the very topic I want to share with you all today. The educational benefits of pocket cubes in the pre-college setting. Before I tell you all about the Pocket Cube, I'd like to tell you all about the CubeSat. This is a real model of a CubeSat, and it is a 10 by 10 by 10 centimeter cubed satellite that weighs approximately 1.33 kilograms per U. It was founded by a Stanford University professor, Bob Twiggs, in 1999, and its main purpose was to allow for students in the college setting to develop a satellite in a relatively short amount of time of 3 years. However, since then, it has not only been used by students in the college setting, but also by students in the pre-college setting and by many small businesses and government entities due to its cost effectiveness. Next, we have the Pocket Cube. I unfortunately wasn't able to bring a real model of a Pocket Cube, but a Rubik's Cube is very similar to its size. A Pocket Cube is a 5 by 5 by 5 centimeter cubed satellite that weighs approximately 125 grams per P. It was also founded by Bob Twiggs, but in 2009, and it created a new era in the picosatellite class, which aimed to democratize space access and increase space exploration. Now, I'd like to get into the specifics of CubeSats and Pocket Cubes, and their cost differences and size differences. The CubeSat is a 1,000 centimeter cubed satellite that weighs approximately 1.33 kilograms per U, while the Pocket Cube is a 125 centimeter cubed satellite that weighs approximately 125 grams per P. Not only is the Pocket Cube much smaller than the CubeSat, it is also much more dense, with it being 1/8 the volume, which means you can fit 8 Pocket Cubes in one CubeSat. Costs also vary, with manufacturing costs of a CubeSat ranging from $50 to $1 million US, while manufacturing costs of a pocket cube can range from $5,000 to $50,000 US dollars. Launch costs of a CubeSat can range from $100,000 to $200,000 US dollars, while launch costs of a pocket cube can range from $20,000 to $50,000 US dollars. CubeSats have been used in the past to give students many hands-on learning opportunities, and it has helped them build impressive resumes. And the Pocket Cube can be the next satellite to give these students these same hands-on learning opportunities and help them build impressive resumes, but at a more cost-effective and time-effective rate. But I'd like to talk about how the Pocket Cube can be integrated into the curriculum and some skills that can be learned. The Pocket Cube can be used to teach many skills in the curriculum, such as science, engineering, programming, and math, as it's necessary to have all those skills to develop a satellite. But as it takes students through the design and launch process, it teaches them many valuable skills that can only be learned through real-world experiences, such as teamwork, problem solving, and project management skills. Pocket Cubes can also be used in capstone projects in the high school and college setting. They can also lead to international partnerships with other aerospace teams. Pocket Cubes can also be used for scholarly research in the college or professional setting. In conclusion, education is more involved than the scores you get or the school you go to. It's important to understand that you should start tailoring what you do in school and what you do in your free time to the career you hope to have in the future. And even though not all of you may participate in aerospace in the future, it's important to understand that you should start applying your skills to a specific industry as early as middle or high school. I encourage you to determine your area of interest and find ways to start being that future you now. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and if you have any questions about my school or the Wolfpack, or if you're interested in joining, please let me know. Thank you.